Well, hello, hello, hello. It's time for the abandoning perfection journal. It's a good thing we're abandoning perfection because I can't talk. I did not finish the add your ribbon and sew beads to the pages. So these are 40 prompts 44 and 45. I just didn't get finished last week, so here you can see I'm adding some ribbon to a page. I really liked this image for some reason. I didn't want to cover it up a lot. I'd already put lace on the edge of the page, so technically that page had been used, but I thought I'd add some ribbon to it just for the fun of it. I made sort of a little pull tab on it too, and just for fun. So this ribbon has I think that's the one that has the pumpkins on it. And I did staple the little tab back just to make sure that it stayed real well. And adding ribbon was prompt 44, and we were supposed to add it to 5 pages, and I think I finished 1 page last week, so I have to add ribbon to 4 more pages. By the way, guys, if you don't know about the Abandoning Perfection Journal, at the end of the video, I will link you to uh, the playlist. That's what that thing is a playlist. And you can see what we were doing with it. Lisa and I started this project, and there have been lots of other followers. And if you use the hashtag Abandoning Perfection Journal, you can find some other people that have finished theirs. I know that Katie actually got her project all finished up. I have had it missed a couple of weeks, just different things that I didn't get everything done. And I didn't get all the prompts done yet. So we're getting close, though. We're getting very, very close to the finish. Um, I'm not sure exactly how many more um, videos I have, but I was putting 2 little flippy things up in this when I added the ribbon. They kind of like stick out of the page. I don't know why. I just thought it would be fun to have them 3-dimensional in there. And I just wanted to cover up the words because there again, I had already added lace to that page and I liked the images on it. And so I'm just covering up the advertising part of that page. If you don't remember, Lisa and I made these journals out of magazine paper pages. Um, we did not glue them together. They were lightweight and we just took them out of the magazine and then sewed them into a file folder, which we used as our cover. A simple project, but okay, here I'm thinking. I wanted to add something to that page, but I sort of liked the images, wasn't too bad. So I decided I would just add over the area that I didn't really like. And what I am going to do is make a ribbon flower. So I will be using both ribbon and beads for this project. I am using embroidery floss here. And when I got this video all done, I did realize that really and truly you cannot see how I kind of make this ribbon flower. So hopefully tomorrow I will do a little short video of how I make the flower where you can see it up close and personal. So do check tomorrow afternoon and see if I haven't gotten that done. hopefully. This is just a lightweight ribbon. It did have a satin center down the middle of it. And I didn't want it real big. I also didn't want it too poofy because my journal is already getting kind of poofy. It's gator mouthed. It's actually looking pretty good. I just have to pull it tight to wrap the cover around it. But since we did have that flap on it, I didn't want it to get so gator mouthed that the flap wouldn't cover over the pages to protect them. So, and here I'm going to just sew it right to that piece of paper. And I'm going to add beads to it. Two things when working with beads is make sure your thread and needle will go through the bead before you start your project. These are size 6 seed beads, so they're pretty big. And I'm happy with the flower, but I decide, oh, I want to sew some more beads around it. So I just sort of start making a little ring of beads just sewn to the paper. I did not sew it directly to the page because the other side of that page was already finished, and I didn't want it all those stitches to be on the other side of the page. So I sewed it to something that I could insert onto the page. And I guess that I didn't abandon perfection at that particular point in time. These prompts have been fun to work with. They're all kind of odd little prompts. There is a prompt list, a link to a prompt list in the description box below if you want to play along. Just because you didn't play along with us already doesn't mean that it's not a fun project. Okay, see now I accomplished both a ribbon and some beads, so uh, I'm about to get my ribbon done. I think that will make 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I have one more place I need to add ribbon. But I think I went on to add beads to something because I had an idea of what I could do. There again, this page was technically finished. It could be finished. It had a paper ruffle added to it, so I didn't have to put anything more on that page, but to me, the page was kind of, I don't know, boring or whatever, so I decided I would add something to it. And I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do, and I'm playing with the ribbon. I've got this real grass-like ribbon, and I've got the page there, and nothing I'm thinking up is working. Sometimes that happens. So I guess my mind just kind of, I'm like, oh, this ribbon, can I ruffle it? Can I do this? What can I do? Okay, that was me. Put it aside. I have in my mind that I need to finish the ribbon. Aha, I must have made a decision. Tapping of the fingers means I made a decision. There it is. I hunted for a piece of the scrapbook paper. I've used this pad of scrapbook paper throughout the journal. It's just a black and white pad of scrapbook paper. Um, it's mostly patterns. It doesn't have a lot of what shall I say, borders or anything like that. It's mostly just patterns. And the thing about it is it's very simple patterns most of the time. It's also paperweight, which a lot of my paper pads are more cardstock weight. And this worked really well in this particular journal because it didn't add a lot of bulk. But what I just had decided to do is to sew beads to that piece of paper. And I want them to show up, so I had gotten out some orange beads, black and white and orange, I guess. And so I am just sewing beads to this piece of paper. Now, I could have sewn beads to a piece of fabric. I just used the piece of paper. One of the things you want to be careful of when you're using paper, especially lightweight paper like this was, is not pull too hard. You can pull your thread through the paper where it doesn't sit quite right. So do be careful of that. And I don't want to cover the whole thing with beads. So what I've done is I've gone up on a diagonal and I'm going to sew to the other diagonal. And those little center pieces, some of them are bigger than others. So I did use 2 beads on some and 3 beads on some. I just kind of filled up that little center spot of each of the pieces of paper, each of the designs. And I didn't quite give myself enough thread as usual. Don't know why I always do that. There we go. A little glue and I will have added beads to another page. I really like how my page numbers came out. I used multiple fonts and just printed off a whole sheet of numbers in different fonts and then put them on different shapes and colors, black and white, always black and white, of cardstock. So, okay, I'm still looking to finish my last one where I have to add ribbon. And these 2 pages were ones I just really wasn't exactly happy with. Um, so I just tried to add something. This ribbon is really cute. It's just Dollar Tree ribbon, but it's got campers on it. It's just adorable. And I thought it went with that sort of I don't know foresty page. The page ended up being just a background, and so I just glued some ribbon on. Still not real happy with that page, but we're not supposed to have to be happy with every single page. So that accomplishes my ribbon prompt. And now I'm thinking how many pages did I put beads on? So I'm trying to figure it out. Okay, here I'm thinking, I already done something that page, but I don't really like the bottom because I don't like the words in the advertising. So what can I do? that I can add to both pages, and that will accomplish adding beads to 2 pages. None of the papers really were calling my name till I got to that one. And as you can see, what I'm going to do is kind of wrap the page around, wrap the sheet of paper around the page, and when I add the beads to it, it will actually make it where I have done beads on 2 pages. This does take a while though. I'm looking at this piece of paper and I'm thinking about putting the beads on there, and I decide that I am going to sew the beads where they are laying in the zigzag of that piece of paper. I decide to use blue beads for some reason. They don't show up real well, but they kind of look like watery ocean thing. That's kind of what I was going for. Yep, tangled up my thread. Standard procedure. So here I am looking at it and I'm thinking, okay, I want to go up and I want to go down, but all right. Well, I had blue beads. The ones on the table right now are shiny. These ones that I'm opening now at this point are matte. So I decide that one half of the wave is going to be shiny and the other half is going to be matte. And I think it took about 4 beads each to fill up the little angle that I was on. And I decided, oh, maybe you guys would like to see this a little bit better. So each time the wave went up, I did shiny beads, and each time I did the down, I did matte beads. And this is going to take a while. Sorry about that. Wow, finally I get to the end. I had thought about doing a second row of beads and decided against it. It was one of those things where one was enough. I'm done. And it does kind of look cute on that page. I was happy with it. And let's see, that's 2, 3, 4. I think I've gotten 5 pages with beads sewn on them. Now I had to have 6 beads sewn to 6 pages. So I think I'm going to have to be hunting one more page to sew beads to. Look at it, look at it, look at it, look at it. I decided there again, those 2 middle pages, the 2 blue ones, I still am not liking. So I decided that I would sew beads to the blue page, but I'm looking for thread that won't be too obnoxious on the back side, which is this page, due to the fact that I really kind of like how that page came out. So what I'm going to do now is actually sew beads to the edge of that blue page. And I'm going to use some bright orange beads. The back side had a little orange in it because I'm going to use the beads and sew them like a tab. And the brown thread doesn't look too bad on the back side of that page, so I'm was pretty happy with how it came out. Okay, and so what I did was I sewed up and I put on like 7 or 8 beads. I can't remember how many I'd put on each place. But each time I took a stitch, I added more beads so that the little tabby things got longer. And I'm not pulling it tight so that way they can lay down if they, because I didn't want them standing up. I wanted them to be able to lay down. See how it's going to stick out past the page? I kind of liked how they came out. as it got longer, I had to sort of test to see how long it needed to be. Well, they didn't want to stay laid down. So what happened was, is I decided that I needed to just stitch over the top of them like so, so that they would stay out along the edge of the page. So I just took a few stitches. Each one went over the top of one of those little bead loops, kind of sinking in between the beads just so that they'll lay sticking out the edge of the page like a tab. I think it would be fun to add tabs that way to a fabric page. So yay! I have finished all adding ribbons and adding all my beads. These took a while. It's 2 prompts. I started them last week and they took a while, but there were several pages I had to add them to, and there was a bunch of hand sewing on it, and that just kind of took a while. I'm still not enamored with these 2 pages, but I'm not going to complain. That, you know, they're okay. They're just pages. That's another place I added beads. I added beads like there. So I like the little ribbon flower. Don't forget to look tomorrow for a video. Okay, guys, I'm going to go have fun, make some art. Have a great day. Bye-bye.